Hi, everyone. This is EstaRa with a Twinflame message and card reading for you this week of today's Wednesday, October 19th, 2016. I really wanted to get this message out to you yesterday, but unfortunately did not have an opportunity, so I'm doing it now. So it is an incredible day here in the northeast of the United States. It is like almost 80s, if not in the 80s. It is so hot and humid, as is evidenced by the frizziness of my hair. Um, it's unusual for this time of year for it to be that hot. I mean, we usually get like a clip of warmer energy, but usually earlier in October, and not this warm. I mean, it's humid, hot, and sticky and kind of yucky, but beautiful at the same time because it's unexpected. And I feel like that is exactly a great way to describe what is happening this week in the energies, or thus far has been happening since we've had this super moon over the weekend. So, I'm sure all of you recognized the full supermoon energy that came in over the weekend, started last week, a few days before, and it's still kind of lingering and getting ready to leave. But it kicked up a lot for so many people. So if you're experiencing any of them, the experiences that I was having was like frustration, anger, and so I felt this energy come in kicking up for all of us, right? But I feel like it's really connecting for the divine masculine as well. You know, not just for those of us that are awake. And I think the divine masculine is actually dealing with their own crises, their own emergencies, if you will. So I thought, wow, major things are happening. So it reverberated into my reality with having to deal with a whole bunch of stuff. And so what's interesting is like things are lingering, things are almost like it feels almost like a Mercury retrograde, if you will, where things are just kind of coming back that you thought you were done with, you shouldn't have to see anymore. And I had something like a document come in the mail about something that was closed for about a few months now. It's actually surfaced like, hey, this is not done. And I'm like, are you kidding? It's like really weird energy with that. So, with that being said, I feel like that is a good glimpse into what's happening for all of us right now. Is we think we're done, but then something is still showing up that we have to finish. And I feel like that's where we're moving into this energy of clearing. And a lot of the stuff that I've noticed is like little annoyances, little things that are having to get wrapped up, more like 3D human physical things that we have to deal with, paperwork, items like that. And so when I think about that, that's just for us to like move through. It's not that difficult. If we step back, it's like dealing with it and addressing it head on versus letting it slide like we've probably had in the past. If you're like me, you probably did. Um, and it's just coming up and surfacing. Like this wasn't actually something that I did not deal with. It was something I thought I dealt with and was completely satisfied that it was handled. But guess what? Apparently it wasn't. And so rather than just like, oh, I'll deal with it later, I just dealt with it head on right away. And I've been doing that since last week. So a lot, I've actually been doing that all of September. So it feels like some of September's energy still wound up in there somehow. And, that's caused a lot of friction for people. And I know for myself, it caused like a little bit of anger, a little friction over the weekend. Um, but stuff I had really no major control over. It was I had to address it, but I couldn't address it over the weekend because it was a weekend, and I had to wait till things opened on Monday, and I started dealing with it. And here it is Wednesday. I'm still dealing with it, but I'm almost done. I wrapped it up, I think, and we're almost finished. So what that tells me about this energy of what we're in is that full moon kicked up so much for everyone, like all kinds of crazy energies and um I know a lot was like turmoil, anger, resentment, and stuff like that, bitterness, things that showed up for people in their lives, or irritation, like major irritation, frustration, energy that has been rippling outward. And I believe our twins are feeling it. I believe it's amplified for us because our twins are feeling it. I also believe that the energy started to shift a little bit yesterday. It moved into more of a I felt more of like a sad energy, almost a little bit of a grieving, if you will, a little worry, a little confusion. Well, guess what? Everybody on the planet is in fear, worry, confusion. And so we're not the only ones. You and I and all of these twin community, we're not the only ones feeling this. The entire globe, the entire planet is feeling fear because it's being released, and it's being released big time. So the full moon in Aries released all this energy for people. So you and I might be experiencing like little friction things, little irritations. I mean, they might be big for some of us. For me, they feel like they've been very little, but they are there and they're still interfering and driving me a little bonkers. But I believe everybody is experiencing this right now. And so if the entire planet is experiencing it, imagine it's heightened for all of us. So that's been happening. Well, it was almost like that fiery tension that's been raising in frequency for everyone is now actually coming into a place where it is. I feel like loss. I feel. Gosh, the words I'm getting right now as I'm speaking to you are obviously a channel thing. Hopeless, unworthiness, not wanting to move forward, doubtful, distress, and that kind of creeped in over the last couple of days. And I actually felt a little bit myself last night. It was really interesting. I was in a dream where somebody had passed away in the dream, and my family said, well, we're going to meet you there, since my parents were going separately and I was going by myself. And I said, really? I have to do this alone? I'm doing this alone again? I do everything alone. And that was my dream. And I thought, holy crap, because I was kind of feeling alone last night. Um, Good news, I'm feeling much better physically. Like my back is still, it's better. It's much better, but I still want to be careful with it. But physically, all the other symptoms that I was having through the last several months are finally like alleviating and going away, and I'm feeling much better. So I have more energy. I'm awake longer, and now I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with my time? So I've had a little more playtime at night. Usually by the end of the day, I'm ready for bed and crashing by 8:30. I've been able to stay up until 11, which is huge. But I don't have the energy to do a lot of amazing things that I'd like to do. It's more of like, oh, I just want to hang out, or maybe watch a movie or something. I'm rambling again. Sorry. So, that energy of like sadness, that grief that moved in over the last couple of days. So I want you to know, if you're feeling that, you are not alone. That is exactly where I think everybody on the planet is feeling right now. I also think that's a reverberation again from our twins, because I believe our twin flames are feeling that. Um, and you know, we're in for quite a ride. I feel really magnificent things coming. And so I was doing a session earlier today, and one of the things that I came out of the session with was that, you know, a message for me, but for all of us, being a twin flame is not an easy part of the journey. Like, it's actually probably the most complex parts of the journey that I've been on, and I've had a lot of crazy things in my life go on, since coming here to the planet. Um, but it's really hard. It's a testing of our faith, a testing of our discernment, a testing of our abilities to move forward. It's just it's trying at times and difficult at best, and I know for me it's been emotional roller coaster throughout the years. I've been much more balanced place in the last several months, if not years. I'd say year. I feel like sometimes I'm still really emotional and I go through all that crap. Um, so I'm not immune by any means. I'm still human too, and I still feel everything that you all feel as well. There's just days that I am able to navigate it a lot better, probably because of the years of doing it, but also the tools that I have, and I recognize I need to go back to them. But being a twin flame has been very difficult at times, and I've had a lot of people dump a lot of their beliefs and their stuff on me about what it is to be a twin flame, or what not to accept in a relationship, and how I might be wasting my energy or time, and how I really don't know what I'm talking about, or there is no such thing as twin flames, or it's just a relationship, or whatever. I've had a lot of that throughout the years, right? And I've had a lot of that over the last few years, particularly. And then recently, a lot of people have been spewing, if you will, that's a great word, their stuff. And basically, it's their crap coming up for them to face and deal with, and they're looking for a way not to. And so they spew it and they dump it. And honestly, it's been really a trying time for me to have to listen to that and deal with it, because as far as I've come, I still have that glimmer of doubt and fear, because my twin does. He has a glimmer of doubt and fear, I'm sure. and it's amplified with me, and then it just comes in and it can creep in, find its way in, like drill a little hole into my auric field and then come in there and amplify something that I might feel insecure about or something I might worry about. Um, and the reason I'm saying this is I don't want that anymore. I don't think it's okay for anybody to spew their crap on anybody. It's okay to share something. You can ask a friend, can you listen to me? I'm going to vent. Or can I just vent to you for a few minutes? And then you're prepared. But if somebody's just spewing their crap on you because they're in a place, it's not okay. It's unacceptable. And I think that's important for us to be aware of. And I bring that up because I want to say, again, one of the things that I was telling someone over the weekend and somebody I was telling yesterday, and then I had a session today and I was telling this to a client, and it's something that I've recognized over the last few weeks particularly is we don't have to question when, how, where, why. But we as humans question when, how, where, why, and what. We question everything. And that gets into our heads. So then we start thinking. And then when we think, it brings in our worries, our fears. Well, if it doesn't happen that way, how's it going to happen? Blah, 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 blah. All that stuff kicks up. So I'm going to caution all of you that that's the energy we're in right now, questioning, figuring out. But that's not the energy we have to be in. We have a choice. We have a choice in every given moment how we're going to proceed, how we're going to live our life, and what we're going to do. And so I want to encourage all of you to trust in your truth, trust in your heart what you know here. What is inside here? See my heart today? Trust inside of your heart what you know inside of you. Because once you do that, then everything else doesn't matter. So trust the end game, the end goal. What is it that you really want? So I want to suggest that you actually look forward to the time that you are with your twin. So for example, I will envision me and my twin, and this is something I've had visions of recently, but I actually keep thinking about us holding hands and Christmas morning. Ironically, he's not Christian, but I'm thinking of Christmas morning for me. It doesn't have to be like the same thing that I grew up with. I'm thinking of just being in its presence. And so when I think of Christmas, I think of magic and miracles, right? And I think of Santa Claus. And I think of all the good things as a child, anticipatory energy of anticipating Christmas coming and what's Santa going to bring me, you know? So when I think about that, I think about I want that to be for me. I want to experience that this year and I want to experience it with my twin. So my end game is that, right? My end game is to be with my twin, enjoy my time with him, wake up with him next to me every morning in bed, make dinner for him and cook with him, uh, relax and watch a cute movie in the middle of winter when it's cold, cuddling on the sofa or something. I want to just have that's what I want, and that's where I want my energy to be, and that's where I feel like my focus needs to be. And I suggest that to all of you because if I sit there and I think about how, when, why, when am I going to hear from him next? When is he going to call me? When's he going to do that? Well, guess what I'm putting the energy in? Doubting. Because when I say when, I'm not trusting it's going to happen. So I'm trusting it's going to happen. And I'm saying that to all of you because that's my intention and my belief for this week. And I say that to all of you to have the same thing. I say have it going forward. I'm saying for this week because strongly this week has been doubting energy for everybody on the planet. Not just twin flames. I feel like globally we're having lots of doubts and trust in our world around us because things are not what they seemed, right? A lot of things are being revealed. Isn't that what I said October was about? My guide said unveiling, revolution. Ooh, well, here we go. Interesting. Um, uh, revealing, unveiling is happening this month, and so revelation is coming. And so as that's happening, we're uncovering things about ourselves, about our twins, about the world around us. And so with that happening, it's creating doubts. And we start to backpedal a little bit and question everything. And so when we do that, we forget what we really want because we start focusing on how we're going to get what we want. And so then we act like we're never gonna have it. And if we're always wanting, we're always going to want. Instead, let's envision and trust this is what's going to happen. So that's a message from my guides, but also from me. And I want you all to have that knowledge because oh gosh, we get so caught up in humanity, living as a human and get caught up in what's going on. And, don't we all have that? Like, don't we all sit there and think about how we're going to fix things and what we're going to do? And we tend to value people who try to fix things and figure things out when the truth is we all have the answers inside of us. But we don't need to know the answers. The answer inside of us is we will be with our twin. And we don't need to know how that's going to happen. We don't need to know exactly when. Of course, our human self says we need to know exactly when because there's human things we want to do and things we want done. But our spirit knows it's going to happen. There's absolutely no doubt. And the only time the doubt comes in is when we start to say, well, it's supposed to happen this way and it doesn't. And then we're like, wait, it didn't happen this way. Why? Well, guess what? We're thinking about it. We're trying to manifest it happening. So in the thinking about it, the making it happen, all of that energy, we put in all our worries about the steps to get there. Whereas if we just trust it is so and let it be so, it'll happen. I always found that when I've manifested something, everything, my guys are like everything. When I manifest in my life, I usually have like this, I need this to happen. And then I say, okay, well, this is what I need. And then guess what? It shows up. And I've noticed recently it shows up. It shows up. It shows up. So I went to the store the other day and I'm like, this is what I want. I go in there, it's exactly what I wanted and a price that I wanted, but guess what? It was even cheaper. So what that means to me is that's how quickly I'm manifesting. But guess what? I'm not putting tons of worry in it. I'm not like, oh, if they don't have it, what am I going to do? So I'll give you the example. It was curtains I really wanted for my apartment. I really wanted the heavy curtains that keep out the cold in the winter. I never could really afford them. They're usually pretty expensive because I have a very large window. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to afford them, but hopefully I can find them for like $40 each, and I'll be fine with that. And that scared me, but at the same time, I'm going to make it happen. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go there. I looked through the whole store. It wasn't there. And so I got the message, walk around again, go slowly and look everywhere. Well, there was a clearance section and I found exactly what I wanted, $10 per panel. I'm like, oh my God. Now, I expected to pay 40. I was hoping for a little cheaper, but I got it for 10 each, so that's $20. I got it so cheap. It was unbelievable. And it was there. And here's what's funny. I went in and I thought, well, I guess I'm not going to find purple because I tried twice. I went to two different places and it didn't work. It's my last place that I could go to. There it was. And what's interesting when I say I tried twice, I went in with this mission that that's what I'm going to find. Well, this time I went in, I'm like, well, hopefully I can find curtains. I didn't actually put out there, this is my mission, this is what I need to find. It was like, hopefully. And I didn't see it the first walk around, and I was guided to go again. And I walked around again, and there it was. And it's funny, it was waiting there for me because it was the last two panels. So, um, I guess what I want to say is I didn't put this pressure on me. The first two times I put a lot of pressure on me to find them. Didn't find them, and I was about to give up. And the third time I'm like, well, I have a little extra time. Why don't I run in this store and just see for ha-has what they have? Maybe it's something else I'd want. Exactly what I wanted. But I didn't put a lot of worry into it. I didn't have the worry that I had in the first two tries. So try, and try again, and then you succeed. So I want to just trust you to know that inside of you. Trust yourself. You know that. And I'm going to trust that you're going to do that and realize that what we want is there. We just need to find it. But we need to find it in the way um, it comes to us almost like a miraculous way. I mean, the fact that it came in such a miraculous way for me was amazing. But the truth is, was it really that amazing, or was it that I actually put it out there, I expected it, and it just showed up when the time was right, and in a way that I wanted it to? Because the truth was, I was like, please let it be really cheap. Hopefully, they have some on clearance. I thought that originally, but that was a few weeks ago. So I'm going to leave you with those words of wisdom. Now I'm going to move on to the card reading for the week and see what we got. So I'm not going to make it too much longer of a video, so I might breeze through this card reading quicker. If you're interested in that, let me, if you're interested in learning more, let me know. So when I pulled the cards before I went on to this video today, I pulled I did my normal. I pulled one for the divine feminine and one for the union. And then when I went to pull for the divine masculine, three cards came out. So we'll see what they are. I have no idea what that means. All right. The first card for the divine masculine. Oh, Nine of Wands. Let me show that to you. Do you see that? Do you see the little fairy? Oops, wrong side. The fairy over here. He is he's opening the gate, looking in to see the grass if it really is greener on the other side. He's really looking out at the possibilities. If you look at the butterflies up here, I feel like this is where our divine masculine is. He's looking at his life. He's seeing the possibilities. There are some. Let me look and see. And he's seeing all these butterflies signifying it's time for change. Like, you can't stay stagnant. You can't stay where you are anymore. This isn't working. It's time to look elsewhere and see if it's there. That's what is going on with our divine masculine this week. And when I look at the next card that came up, so it's funny, all three cards came up and they're really pretty good cards. The next card that came up, so the next card for the divine masculine is Four of Wands. Well, the first one was Nine of Wands, and then the Four of Wands. Here he's looking and recognizing that there's a lot of change coming. It's time to make the change and open that gate and step out into it. Four of Wands over here, he's working. Our twin is actually working to make the changes. So our divine masculine is right here making changes. Do you see him working really, really hard? And over here, he's like, I'm making changes. I know I need to. I'm looking out there. Where am I going next? How's it going to happen? I'm ready to do it. Let me step forward. So he's working on lots of stuff. I feel like a lot of crap. Like I said to you, this moon has been really powerful, kicking up stuff for all of us, and our divine masculine particularly. I feel like felt it more, and that's not to say we didn't feel it, because clearly we did, as what I just described earlier in the video. But when you look here, you see that this card symbolizes work. So he's in the phase of working and creating and making changes, where over here he's ready to step out with those changes. They've happened. It's time to look out where I'm going. And then the last card for the divine masculine that came up was very powerful also. It's Snow White. And I consider our beautiful masculine energy to be Snow White here in the bed, resting and sleeping. Do you see that? So when I look at that card and I see these beautiful beings carrying light, and there's a protection up here from and you see the dark. What's interesting to me when I look at this card, what I get from this card about our divine masculine, is the dark is active, is adding to the amplification of energy, is amping up the irritations, the frustrations, and when you're dealing with the energies of this full moon, this fiery, crazy, I was going to say crazy ass energy. That's kind of what it is. All these little irritations, like my paperwork thing that came in the mail that I have to deal with, I had to deal with, and I've been dealing with for 3 days now, actually, since Saturday when it came in the mail. And I'm dealing with it, and it's frustrating to me, but it's being amped up. Now, I have a choice to go with it and be really angry, or just be really assertive and deal with the situation, and rather than throw in my fire and my anger. It's a choice I can make every day, and it's a choice I have to make every day. And believe me, Friday I didn't make a very good choice. I was really angry at a situation. It wasn't a horrible choice, but it was angry, and I actually apologized, handled that situation better. Um, and I felt like more frustration on Saturday when I got this piece of mail in the mail, and I had to deal with that on Monday. And it was like I had a choice to be really angry about it, or just be assertive and deal with it and face it head on. And I did that. And the dark was there actively saying, well, here's an opening, here's an opening. And if I didn't choose the way I handled it, that dark energy would have crept in for me. So for our divine masculine, I feel like the dark energy is creeping in for them. I feel like they're being impacted by the darker energies. So the darker energies, they've lost. Okay, they have no place. They have no business really doing the work they're doing now to harm us in any way, shape, or form. But they're amplifying the energies around us, like that last ditch effort at the creeping in energy. So it's going to irritate. And so our beloved, our divine masculine, is going through irritation and going through frustration right now. And the dark energy is trying to creep in. But know that your divine masculine is being protected by these beautiful beings of light. You have somebody with a hammer there, and you see somebody with light protecting. So I feel like there's a lot of protection for our divine masculine right now during this week, and I feel like they need it. You know, I know for a fact my twin has been going through something, and I'm going to share quickly before I go on why, because I didn't neglected to share this last week. So I received something in the mail, an envelope, credit card company, and normally they address it to the person that lives there with their address, like my name and my address. Well, it wasn't. It was like it was said something 24-hour, my town's name, emergency, and then my twin's initial, the first letter of his name. And at first I'm like, the heck is this? And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe there's something to it. And then I forgot about it because I got busy with something else. And then I went to bed that night, had those bad dreams I talked about in my previous video, the nightmares. And then I thought, okay, maybe there is something to it. Then I thought, okay, so I went and did what I need. I worked that day, and then I had I had a massage scheduled. I come out of the massage, and a friend texted me and said, "You won't believe the license plate I just saw. It was 911 and my twin's nickname." And I thought, holy crap. So not only did I get the emergency envelope with his initial, and then I got the 911 emergency with him, with his nickname from a friend. And I thought, oh God, he's really trying to connect with me. Like there's something going on. And so when I recognized that, it was weird. I started hearing his name a lot again last week, and I thought, oh boy, something's going on. I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. He did try reaching out to me last week, but it just didn't work out where we connected. And I worked on him on Saturday for 2.5 hours, and I haven't done that in a long time. Where I worked on him for 2.5 hours, and I had to clear him. He had a lot of dark energies around him, infiltrating his field and affecting him. And I felt like I helped him set some things free and remove some of the things that the dark was amplifying and interfering with. But I also believe that the dark energies are still interfering with him, but not in the way that they were. Like they're still kind of, amping up. So I got very clear messages at the end of last week to be worried about my twin and to do some work with him. And when I did, I stopped getting those messages. So I feel like it's resolved and it's okay. But he's still going through his stuff. Again, they want me to remind you, the divine masculine, he's being protected. He's getting ready to make his move. That's what that feels like to me. And then this one here, he's working on a lot of stuff that we're not seeing. It's behind the scenes. It's not what we're being revealed and not being seen right now. So now let's look at the divine feminine for this week. Wow, these are all wands. All these cards are wands with the exception of Snow White. That's really awesome and interesting. So here is the next card, Five of Wands. Oops. Gosh, I'm really bad with this whole video thing. I'm getting a new computer. I'm praying to God that that computer helps me navigate better. um, anyway, this is a beautiful card. If you see, this beautiful fairy is opening up the petals. Well, here's a divine feminine energy. This, I think, is appropriate for us this week, what I've already felt thus far and what's going on. I feel like we are getting assisted in opening up. What is left for us to open to receive? We need to receive, but we also need to open. So, last vestige of things that need to be cleared and to be open. So, going back to my example with my envelope that came in the mail, my letter that I had to deal with. So, when that came in, I was like frustrated, couldn't do anything with it on Saturday. I did let it bother me and worry me a little bit on Sunday. And then I said, no, this can't keep happening. So let it go. You can't do anything till Monday. So I dealt with it on Monday, made the phone calls they needed to make and addressed some of the stuff. But it opened me up to look at, am I choosing to get angry or am I choosing to face this? How am I doing it? Am I choosing old patterns of, put it away, I'll deal with it next week or tomorrow or the next day? Should I forget about it? No, I was like facing it head on. And I want to move that energy. So I'm recognizing this is opening me to move that energy. And then the last few days, I've still had to deal with, the stuff with that. And I had to make phone calls again and just following through on things. It's so important for us to follow through because we don't recognize all the time that that's what we're supposed to do and that's what we're here to do. So we're here to follow through on everything and not let things just build up. No more procrastination. That's our old energy that's not needed. And I'm sorry for the glare. There we go. That's the old energy. It's not needed anymore. We don't need to be in that old space. So I'm going to just encourage all of you to recognize that within yourself. It's not old energy. So let's face things as they come and, let the things open us up. It may make us feel, like last night, my dream of feeling like I do everything alone. It made me feel the emotion of sadness and feeling a little alone and really missing my twin. I missed him, but what I did before I went to bed, because I felt kind of like alone last night and I was missing him and tried calling him, couldn't get him. And I asked my inner child, what do we want to do? I don't really want to watch a movie. I don't want to watch TV. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I don't want to talk to anybody really. And I don't want to be on my computer anymore. So what I wanted to do was look at the moon. So I laid with my head at the foot of my bed, just stared out the window at this beautiful, magnificent moon. And it brought me such peace and comfort in a way that I hadn't let myself receive that. And in a way that I needed that. And so I was able to go off to sleep about a half hour, 40 minutes later after I did a little healing on me and just went into my little la la land. And went to sleep, and I had the dream where I was expressing, I'm tired of doing this alone. And I feel like the dream on many levels was me telling my twin that, but also, saying to me, I don't have to do this alone. I could call in new people to come in. I can call in my friends to be here, and I can also call in for support. And so that's another opening for me, is to recognize I have, the unseen beings always with me, and they're very supportive and very loving, and I'm so grateful to them every day. But the truth is, I need human contact, and I'm going to call in my tribe. So I'm calling all my tribe to come support me and be loving to me. Um, and I ask you all to do that with your people as well, and people that you don't yet know, because I feel like, put it out there to the universe. I call in my tribe. I call in my soul group. I call in my soul support system, because the reality is, not everybody who's on this journey that we're meeting is part of that. But there's so many out there that we don't even know exist yet. We haven't met yet. So call them in, open your hearts, and allow that to happen. And I feel like that's what this card is, opening your heart to receive. So now is the final card, and this is for the union, the couple. So let's see what the universe has to say. Oh my goodness. I think we had this last week. I don't know, but I love it. It's Wish Upon a Star. Oh my gosh, I would have to go back and look at the video, but I feel like we had this last week, or maybe it was a reading I did for somebody. But I love this card, Wish Upon a Star. To me, this is like magnificent union energy. I still feel like we're in this space of like merging and coming together, and I feel union is close and nearby for many of us. And while we have all the stuff that we're going through and undergoing, I feel like, to me, this actually signifies kind of what I was saying earlier about see the end, make your wish, drop it into that fountain. Now think about it, when you drop a coin in a fountain, I mean, it's probably not a good thing to do, but it's a thing that people have done. It's been a tradition that's been held for years. When you drop something into the fountain, you don't go down and say to the coin, "How's it going to happen? I wonder what's going to happen." You just throw it and you trust it. And I'm really funny. I'm being reminded. It's really funny. I'm being reminded that yesterday I went to go get gas for my car, and I found a penny, and I heard, "Pick a penny, find a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have good luck." And when I saw the penny in my hand, I'm like, "All right, I'm going to take this and put it in my car and keep it there for good luck." Well, I trust that good luck and good things keep happening. So I'm trusting that things will align the way they're supposed to. And when I look at this card, my goodness, it's make a wish, and you drop the penny, you drop a coin, any kind of coin. You're making a wish, and you're trusting that it's going to be taken to the place it needs to go, and you just let it go and you never think about it again. And then all the magic keeps happening. So I just want you to know that we're in this time of abundance and time of manifestation and time of gratitude and gratefulness and beauty. And I'm looking out the window. I saw this amazing bird. Um, I feel like when you're in the space of trust and making your wish, it's going to happen. It's going to manifest. There's no need to do anything else. Just trust it. So be in that end game like I was talking about earlier. This card really just brings it all around, doesn't it? Brings around what I was saying earlier. See what you want, make that wish, let it go. Don't think about how it's going to happen. Don't even sit there trying to manifest it, because when you do, your fears of how it's not happening or how it will happen they're going to come in, and then it's going to stop you from actually making it happen as quickly as it can. Because when our fears come up, the universe is like, "Here you go. Wait, oh, wait. Okay, she fears that he's not going to make it here in time. Oh, wait, maybe we should stop it then, because he needs to get there at the time that she wants. She's not sure. She's doubting it. So maybe she doesn't really want that." I don't know. I feel like that's kind of the universe conversation, if you will. If there were a conversation going on, that's what's happening. So I hope that this helps you today. I hope this reading that I did gave you some trust and truth in the words that I gave earlier. I really feel like it's really important to acknowledge what it is you want, and then let it go and trust the universe to make it happen. Again, you can send love and light every day to your twin. I would send, I don't know, no longer than 1 to 3 minutes. I was guided with this years ago through Archangel Shamuel a couple years ago. He said, um, spend 1 to 3 minutes. Any longer, your head's going to get involved, and then you start to interfere with him, but you're also interfering with your purity of thought. So I suggest like 1 to 3 minutes of purity thought to your beloved. about what it is you desire and what it is you wish to manifest. And I would actually do it in the affirmative, not like this is what I want. I want. Just do it as I am with my beloved. I am united fully with my beloved. My beloved and I are one. My beloved and I share a home. Whatever it is that you want to say for your words, that's what I would recommend doing. So I send you lots of love and light and blessings from this magnificent day here in Connecticut. And I wish you well. And I hope that you get everything you desire with your beloved. And please, if there is any way that I can assist you, please feel free to contact me. I'm here for healing sessions and individual healing and clearing sessions for you and your twin. I'm also willing to do cards for you if you'd like those pulled. And I wish you many blessings. Namaste. So, so much love to all of you.